All right. Welcome to the first episode of Spulture podcast. Um, we're just kind of getting set up here today, figuring this out. This is my first time ever doing a podcast. I got this mic here, but I don't even know how to use it yet. So we're just going to kind of have it as a prop. Got this tennis racket behind me. Not just any tennis racket either. That's an RF1, courtesy of Aiden Mayo, actually used by a tennis professional. Unbelievable. Here we got a can of tennis balls from Wimbledon. Hopefully, as this goes along, we'll have more posters, decoration, a little bit better visual rather than just looking at me and a couple fake props that I have around here. As you can see, it's me. Got no notes. I got nothing. It's just here. We're talking. We're getting through this. We're figuring this out today on our first day of the Spulture podcast. Why it's called the Spulture podcast? Well, I thought about going more like the Draymond Green show route, maybe having the Stephen Christie show. I don't think many people would tune in for that though, and it's a little narcissistic if you ask me. I don't need to name the show after myself, right? So we're going with Spulture podcast for now. It's like Arsenal, right? When they play UEFA games, they can't have the Emirates name. So for those games, they're just Arsenal Stadium, even though it's actually the Emirates Stadium. So taking a little nod from Arsenal, a little nod from Emirates, we're going Spulture Podcast. Keep it simple. What we're going to discuss on this podcast is we're going to have hopefully some guests here at some point. I do have friends. It's not just going to be only me. And we're going to discuss everything from sports to music to fashion, jerseys, kits, anything that's going on that relates to the sporting world. All those things kind of go hand in hand. They're all one to me, and they all feed off each other. So we're just going to kind of get into that. First, where we'll start is we're going to start with a lot more than two, but the two crazy NFL games of the week. There were a couple that really mattered for playoff implications, and there were some that didn't matter at all. But two that really stuck out were the Bucks game versus the Panthers and the Ravens game versus Steelers last night. Since that one's the most recent and most fresh, let's start with that one. I mean, what an absolute shit show of an ending. I mean, an absolute unreal game. Kind of looked like the Ravens had it in the beginning. Then all of a sudden the Steelers start gaining traction. Henry wasn't running as much. I mean, the first couple drives he had like 60 yards running, right? Like that. Like the first play of the game, it looked like he might just take to the crib. They did end up scoring a touchdown there on that possession, but after those first couple, I think he had like 80 yards in the first quarter and ended up with 120. So you could see the Ravens kind of started to stall out a little bit on offense, and Steelers started picking it up. Rodgers was finding guys middle, little routes that they were just taking. Yeah, I'm not a football coach. I never played football. I don't know the proper expressions, but I watched last night, and it was just unbelievable. Started out 10-0 Ravens. Steelers had multiple fourth and shorts in the first half. They weren't able to get any of them, including at the end of the first half. There was like one play left. It was pass interference in the end zone with no time. So there was 1 second left on the clock. They get the ball at the 1 yard line. Of course, they're going for it to try and tie the game up going into half. They get the ball to start the second half. What happens? They get stopped. They pitch it backwards. Again, I'm not a football coach. I'm not a football player, but why from the 1 yard line are we ever throwing the ball backwards when you just have to go forward 1 yard? Like, please, analysts, Dan Orlovsky, Ryan Clark, explain that to me. Like, what is the rationale there? They did it later in the game. They brought in Harrison or whoever, Hayward. They brought in Hayward, the new James Harrison, and they got it so easily. They could have just done that the whole way up the field, honestly, and they would have gotten a couple yards each play. So I don't understand why they pitched the ball backwards there. But anyways, yeah, they got stuffed with Rodgers sneaking on the first time, and then the second time they pitched the ball backwards. No surprise. But really, going into half, I mean, they should have had the lead or at least like been tied. They just couldn't take advantage of their chances. So then, in the second half, again, no notes. It's all off the dome here. So again, in the second half, I don't even know what happens. The Steelers kind of take the lead. They start gaining momentum. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. I need to get attacked for that. That's why this is the first episode. We're living, we're learning. So, yeah, again, beginning of the second half, so Pittsburgh started kind of taking the lead. They started gaining momentum. They came out and scored. It was 10-6. Then it was 6-13 once they scored, thanks to that play I was talking about of Hayward coming in. They did the Hayward push. I think the commentator called it like the brotherly shove with brotherly love or something. It was incredible, whatever he said. I should have written it down. But yeah, it's just an incredible game. So then it's 13-10, and the Ravens are driving with like, I don't know, 2 minutes left. Lamar throws an absolute and throws it to Zay Flowers down the field for a touchdown. It looks like they're gonna win. I think they're up. They're up, dude. There's so many numbers to remember. They're up now by 4 though, and they're up by 4, and looks like they're gonna win. I think there's 2.5 minutes. They just scored this touchdown. Pittsburgh's out of timeouts. Like they'd have to go down and score another touchdown. Now they're down 4. Field goal doesn't matter. So this game's got to be over, right? The Ravens had control of the first half. They came back, kind of took control again. Certainly they're finding it, right? Nope. Rodgers, middle of the field. The guy just runs right through him again. I mean, the same play that had been working all game. They run again to perfection, right? Sets them up. They get down there. They drive down. They end up finding Miles Austin for a touchdown. They're up 2 with an extra point to go up 3 with 50 seconds. This guy chunks it. This is where the shit show begins. This guy chunks it. Chunked it. Right? Way right. Down 2. 50 seconds left. Lamar, all he has to do is get in field goal range in 50 seconds, and they kick a field goal and win. Come on, we know how this one's going, right? Return. Guy takes it to like the 40. They're in unreal position. Get 1 first down, 2 first downs. You got a field goal to win this game and go to the playoffs. How have I not even mentioned that the winner of this goes to the playoffs and the loser of it stays at home, probably gets the coach fired, may have a different quarterback next year, right? So Lamar, 50 seconds for his coach's job, for his job. Throws. They get it, whatever happens. It ends up being like 4th and 6 from the 50. They couldn't kick it. There's like maybe 20 seconds left. You kind of it's thinking about that playoff game that happened between the Chiefs and the Bills a couple years ago. And all of a sudden, Lamar, Zay Flowers, bomb down the field. Flowers catches it. He goes down at like the 23 yard line with about 11 seconds. Again, Pittsburgh no timeout. Baltimore had all their timeouts. They call one. Lamar takes a knee. They get it on the right side of the hash for this kicker, the rookie kicker, to come in and hit a gimme to go to the playoffs. It's not a gimme in that situation, but inside a 40-yard field goal to win the game. I mean, that's why you get paid millions. That's why they're getting paid, right? Tyler Loop, shout out. Guy comes up, and what happens, I don't know if people notice this, but the Steelers audio people, the people running the audio in the stadium, played a song, like right before he was about to kick, like clearly trying to fuck with them. And it worked. I mean, so great. But they, like a song like came on the speaker or something as he's walking up, like clearly an accident, but not an accident. They kind of just put it on there and then took it off like, uh-oh. But I think it messed with them, actually, because I was just watching from my bed, and I looked up like, what just happened? Did they mean to do that? So for sure it distracted him. Tyler Loop, as time expires, to win the game, rookie kicker, wide right. Reminiscent of the Bills-Chiefs game that the Chiefs were able to win with 13 seconds, but also reminiscent of the double doink. It's probably the biggest missed field goal that I can think of since that Bears wildcard game in the double doink to win the game, where it hit both the side crossbar and the bottom crossbar. The game was absolutely incredible last night. The Ravens and the Steelers, it's everything you could ask for. It's the last regular game of the season. Winner go home. Winner gets a home playoff game. Loser gets a home vacation. And it just lived up to the hype coming down to the absolute last seconds. Multiple scoring drives in the last couple minutes. Derrick Henry, the best player on the field, had over 120 yards rushing, way went over his over. Didn't get a touchdown on his birthday, though. I bet he's disappointed in that. But it's still a tremendous game for him. Lamar's first game back, he's throwing darts down the field. Rodgers, at whatever his age is now, he's been in the league forever, still throwing darts, still winning games, still having crazy comeback wins. I mean, that's what he's known for, right? He's Aaron Rodgers, right? He's the guy who has the Hail Marys down the field. He's the guy who won all those crazy games in Green Bay in historic fashion. So it's no surprise he pulled this one out, but just given the timing, the 45 seconds, the 50 seconds that the Ravens had, and at the 40-ish yard line, that one's going to sting. Lamar put him in position to win and didn't get it done. The other crazy football game that I'll try to spend less time on is the Bucs game. I mean, the Bucs played the Panthers. Again, it's the last game. The winner didn't quite win the division, right? So if the Panthers won, they won the division. If the Bucs won, they needed the Saints to beat the Falcons. But for the Bucs, it was still a winner go home, and for the Panthers, it was a clinching game. My bad, something dropped. It's Wimbledon balls. Don't forget to get them if you visit Wimbledon. Also got my Pro Stringer here. Feel free to shout us out, sponsor us, Pro Stringer. You know, it's the best stringer in the game, right? You can take it with you. It's not too heavy. Travel to futures, travel to junior tournaments. Just grab your Pro Stringer. But back to the game. So Bucs playing Panthers. Bucs have to win. Panthers are essentially winning in. And it's kind of a rivalry game, right? The Bucs, I mean, because they're in the same division, but the Bucs started off the year like 7-1 or something ridiculous. They're like the Colts. They started off unbelievable. Baker was winning games in historic fashion. He's going down. He's throwing crazy darts. He's also losing games in historic fashion, as you saw later in the year against like the Falcons. They were up 2 scores, I think 3 times in the fourth quarter, right? Because Falcons kept going for 2. They couldn't get it. Baker threw a pick. Something else happened. It's not all on Baker, obviously, but just the drastic ways that Bucs team and Baker, since he's been in college even, wins and loses games. And he wears it on his sleeve. You got to love it when he wins. He's planting the flag in the middle of the field. And when he loses, he takes it like a champ. He had the commercials that were sick, the protecting his doghouse in Cleveland. I mean, it's kind of he's like Rodgers, right? In a big game, the guy's going to show up. You can count on it. He's done it time and time again. So they were playing the Panthers. They have to win. And Panthers, I mean, they sucked last year. They were so bad, and they got the same quarterback. They don't have Frank Reich. I mean, that helps. Like, Frank, if you ever want to get on here, talk about what happened with the Colts, I'd love to have you, because talk about a shit show. But they don't have Reich anymore, but they have Young, who everyone was ready to give up on, right? And they started the year kind of the same as last year. They looked bad. Bryce Young looked small, just looked like he was going to get killed in the pocket, looking over the line and stuff. But as the game went on, as the game started, the Bucs again. I mean, similar to the Ravens, man, it just looked like they were going to roll, right? The first drive of the game, they go down and get a touchdown, just like the Ravens. Also, a pass down the field to K. Dotton. And then they back it up. The next drive, they get a field goal, right? So they're up 10-0, just like the Ravens were. Both games, it seemed like, of course, these guys are going to win. You got Lamar, 2-time unanimous MVP, and then you got Baker, who's just a big game player, man. The Bucs have won that division like 5 times in a row. They started off 7-1. They're the better team. Of course, they're going to win, right? But as I wrote in my article, Will Nevitz, he said that the Bucs are going to buck. It's one thing you can count on. Last year it used to be the Chiefs going Chief. This year it's the Bucs going Buck, right? So that game was Saturday, man. My memory barely goes back an hour. But they ended up bucking, right? They tried to lose that game, essentially. I think it was, so let's see. They were up 10-0. Baker throws a pick, like in the red zone. The Panthers score on that. That's the only time they score like pretty much the rest of the game. So it's 10-7 then. The Bucs get another field goal to go up 13-7. some point in the third quarter, maybe early in the fourth quarter, they kick another field goal to go up 16-7. So they're up 9 points. Kind of over, given the fact the Panthers have only scored 7 points, and on that drive they were gifted the ball in the red zone. They haven't really done anything, to be honest, until the last drive. They have the ball with about 3 minutes left, and it's looking like the Bucs are just going to finish this thing out. The Panthers can't do anything. So it's about 3 minutes left. I think it's 4th and 6, maybe 4th and 8, and they have the ball on the 49. And what do? Bryce Young throws a 40-yard bomb down inside the 10. This dude just runs right behind the defenders, slides in there, catches that thing for an bomb, and it's like, dude, the Bucs are gonna buck again. Like, it's all this team only needs 10 points to win the game. A touchdown here, they're inside the 10, they're gonna get that, and then a field goal wins it. So, and we've seen the Bucs since starting up 7-1 just choke so many games. And the Bucs bucking doesn't mean they're going to lose that game. The Bucs bucking just means this game is going to be dramatic. And so they get a 4th and 8 on a 40-yard bomb. Like, the one thing you can't give up with 3 minutes left. They have to score twice, make that touchdown take long, right? They give up the huge play on 4th down. And the Panthers end up scoring on that drive, right? So it's a 2-point game with maybe 2.5 minutes, and the Panthers have 2 timeouts, I believe. And so it's just going to come down to, can the Bucs get a first down? If they can get a first down, they can run this clock out, essentially, not all the way, but pretty much. And if they don't get a first down, toast, man, just absolute. You know what's going to happen if they don't get the first down. Bryce Young's going to come down and win this game. He's not Aaron Rodgers, but just the way the Bucs continuously have choked games, they didn't beat the Falcons when they needed to beat them the Saints. They need to beat the Saints to basically clinch the division at home. They didn't do that. They didn't beat the Falcons when they were up like 2 scores 3 times in the fourth. Like, it's happening again. They need a first down, 3rd down. Baker fakes the handoff in the rain also, just like that Saints game. Fakes the handoff. He runs around. He curls out. Looks like he might have an option to run it, but he sees Kate Otten, darts it to him. Otten gets it, slides down in bounds, and you can just tell with where the clock was in the timeout situation, this game was over. They ended up running it down to about 20 seconds. They do a little pooch punt that goes all the way to the 1. Panthers didn't have a chance. So the Bucs did pull it out, but they didn't make the playoffs. Panthers move on, advance. So that was the 2 big games in the football world. There were more games that happened. Obviously, the Colts looked good. Riley Leonard was insanely impressive. His first game starting, his real first game. White Mike is what I'm calling him from now on. I think others have called him that, but he's White Mike. I mean, that dude's fast as heck. He's running around people. He's stiff-arming linemen. Honestly, I'm pretty convinced to just say start him next year. Sorry. Daniel Jones will be back from his Achilles tear, but what I saw out of Riley Leonard, his ceiling is way higher than Jones's. And just more exciting to watch. No offense to Indiana Jones. He did his thing this year. He was great, but I think we were kind of sliding before he got hurt. He got hurt, and it was it's not an excuse, but it bailed out Ballard for sure, and probably Steichen. Because if they don't make the playoffs after starting 8-1 with their starting quarterback, you don't just fire him, you kick him out of the state, honestly. Like, they don't ever come back. So, yep, that's my opinion. They got bailed out by Daniel Jones' injury, and now Carly Ursa came out and said, we're going to run it back next year. We got C.J. Stroud in the freaking division. We got the Jags, who look dynamite in the division, and they don't even have Travis Hunter back, and we're going to run it back with Danny Jones. Started to work this year. Let's hope it works next year. If not, it's Leonard time. In terms of other sports, I mean, the IU Hoosiers looked unreal in basketball. I don't know about unreal, but they beat Washington at home pretty convincingly. They did their job. That's what they were supposed to do. They're a better team than Washington. They're at Assembly Hall, probably one of the best stadiums in the country. They're supposed to beat them. They did. DeVries didn't shoot well, but Wilkerson played unreal. And Sisley, man, I think he's a 4-year IU player. I think he's one of the rare college players in this decade that's going to stay at a school for a while. and he's impressive, dude. He's big. He can shoot the three. He's freshman. If we can lock him down and forward, going forward, that's someone to really build around, and nothing and not something that other programs have the luxury of doing in this day and age with the transfer portal. What else can we discuss? We could talk a little bit of tennis. I feel like Draymond Green right now. One time he said that these best things have the best podcasts have two people, but with him he has one person, so he almost has to pick two sides of the argument and argue from two sides. Something we might get down to, something we might try. Right now, I'm not there yet. I don't even have anything on my wall. As you can see, I got like a closet door. Got this Naptown's Notorious hat though. Shout out to Naptown's Notorious, paving the way for athletes from Indiana being able to tell their story directly from them. They can 100% write it themselves because no story is more accurate than the person that it happened to, right? They're the one that can tell it 100% from their eyes and exactly how it went. So shout out Naptown's Notorious for providing that. If you wanna write, just email naptownsnotorious@gmail.com. And if not, thanks for supporting Spulture. I guess I'll talk a little tennis though. There's not enough coverage on tennis these days. You'll have some tennis podcasts, but like ESPN, they don't talk about tennis unless it's the U.S. Open final or Wimbledon final, right? Or unless like Sinner gets caught doping, Alcaraz splits with his like literally the worst thing. Like incredible things have to happen for someone to talk about tennis on TV. So here we are. We're gonna talk a little tennis. We're gonna talk United Cup. We're gonna talk the Americans playing right now, not just in United Cup, but around the world, in Hong Kong, in Brisbane, in Auckland. Let's get down to it. All right, here we go. So the Americans last night you typically do well in Australia, and for the United Cup, the Americans, the team that they're playing each time so far, Coco's played singles, Fritz has played singles, and the mixed doubles team has been Christian Harrison and Coco Gauff. Shout out Christian for holding that down. Check out my new article about Christian Harrison possibly being team MVP, Captain America of this United Cup team. But Coco lost last night to Spanish girl. I'm going to butcher her name. I'm not even going to try. I also don't have it in front of me. Her name's Jessica, though. We'll call her Jessica, who's a great player. I mean, she's got to be top 50 at least. Been around, hits a real clean ball striker, flat on both sides. Doesn't play like a typical Spanish player. Most Spanish players you think are going to play a high, heavier, loopier, maybe like a Sarah Sorribes Dormo. But no, this girl plays, she's like Pablo Carreño Busta of girls, but a little more aggressive, right? And I'm going to say this as kindly as I can, but every single person on the WTA Tour or the Junior Tour knows to hit to Coco's forehand. And listen, she's won Grand Slams. The forehand works. Like, clearly it can work, but it doesn't always work. And it's the side that breaks down every time. And as I was telling someone today, unfortunately, her serve has gotten to the point where you're just hoping it goes in. Almost like one of the kids on our high school team. So, as respectful as I can say, I don't know how those things happened. Because she used to have a dominant serve. When you think of when she won the U.S. Open against Arina Sabalenka, I mean, she was cranking serves, especially the slice. She never had like an unreal second serve, but she used to have a good serve. And she's so athletic that she can defend that forehand. But last night when she was able to trust it, she was able to hit it. I think trusting it is easier when you're down 6-1, 4-1. Now you can trust it, and that's why we saw her come back and win 7-6. I think the serve was a little easier to just go for. You can tell she's trying to get a little more kick on the second serve, which maybe has helped the second serve percentage a little bit. I don't have those stats in front of me, but it's still just cutting it close. I think the whole world's saying it, but with those two things, man, she once mentioned that she wanted to win double-digit slams. With those two things, that's not a question. She wouldn't have struggled against Anisimova anymore. She could get the ball out of her strike zone. She can make her hit those extra shots. Someone like Andreeva, same thing. Because Coco has the athleticism. She has the variety that these girls don't have. She's fast as heck. But anyways, yeah, she lost. Fritz at least didn't hit the too small celly, so that's good news. He learned from that. But he had an absolute battle with Jaume Munar, who's kind of a dark horse on hard courts. People think of him more as like a clay court player, but he's kind of a dark horse on the hard court. And went sixth in the third with Fritz last night. Fritz has been dealing with a little knee tendonitis that he mentioned he might have to just completely stop and take a break. Um, Sorry, I got a new Mac update there. He might have to stop for like a couple months to shut it down. I don't know how much he's dealing with it, how much it's messing with him. It's something he's dealt with since the World Tour Finals, where he spoke about it there. But he had a battle with Munar last night and played pretty well, as I saw. Munar at times was trying to go low to Fritz, make him bend down and hit up on that ball. Um, but it was a high quality match. I fell asleep in the second set. I'm not on that Aussie sleep time 100% yet. So I thought after Fritz won the first set, he was going to roll. It was anything but that, though. It was an absolute grinder. I think it was 4-6 and then 7-6 in the third. He was able to pull it out for Team USA. Um, there was quite a bit of USA fans in attendance last night. You could hear them. They were saying, let's go Coco, especially. They were trying to get behind Coco after she said what she said about the USA fans being the worst in the world, internationally supporting players. But they were trying to get behind her. She usually plays great in moments like that. Like when you think of the U.S. Open, she has great comebacks. I think she came back down like maybe match points to Mertens or down a set and a break or something. Just plays crazy matches and usually pulls out those crazy matches. Unfortunately, didn't last night. Fritz fortunately did, and it came back down to Cowboy Christian and Coco, who rolled easily. I think it was 6-1. The guy's just on fire, Christian Harrison. Maybe it's Coco, maybe it's Christian. It's probably a combo of the both. But yeah, their first round I think it was 4-2, maybe 4-1. This one 6-1. I mean they're rolling. They aren't really that close. Other pros around the world, we got Nishesh Basavaredi. He lost in the final round of qualifying in Hong Kong to Jean-Leonard Struff, 6-2, I believe. Had a couple break points early in the first set, didn't get them. Struffy's a huge server. He takes his chances on the returns, as we know. Probably wasn't given to Shesh much of a rhythm. It was a bit surprising because Nishesh, his returns are so good. I thought he'd give Leonard Struff some trouble and break him. Trouble? And yeah, but I thought he'd give him trouble. I thought he might break him. I don't think he broke him at all in the match. And he had beaten, the Chinese native Bu Yunche Gorete. Bu. We're just gonna call him Bu. Bu Yu. He beat him pretty easily in round one, so seemed like he got past the Chinese. He's gonna play Struff, who's good, but I mean, obviously he's unbelievable, right? He's like 120 in the world. I don't know what he is. He's been seeded in every slam probably. He's had a great career. He's a great player, but just with a guy like an up and coming guy like Nishesh, I thought that'd be a winnable match for him. He wasn't the only one to lose that had the USA flag next to his name yesterday, though. Emma Navarro, who you also would think had a winnable match against Francesca Jones, lost first round of the Auckland WTA tournament. Navarro's kind of had a tough time. I mean, she was unreal when she first came out. The droppers were so smooth. I remember there was one pre-match like interview she had, and she was just like hitting droppers. I think it was at Wimbledon quarterfinals, maybe 2024, I think. And she's just like working on drop volleys and droppers, like the smoothest tennis player to ever exist, right? And unreal results. Like right when she broke on the scene, she made top 10, top 5, maybe semis US Open, maybe semis or Wimbledon. Around those results, give or take of position or two or around. But since then, she's kind of struggled. She hasn't been able to keep those same results. I remember hearing in that 2024 season, I think she won more three-set matches than anyone, so it showed her matches were close. She just was able to pull it out. Who knows if that's sustainable? That's what some people are saying about the Denver Broncos right now in the NFL. But for Emma, it hasn't been insanely sustainable. But it's just the first match of the year. It's nothing to overreact to. She's unreal talented. She hits that heavy whippy forehand, gives a lot of girls problems. She's fast, sick hands. I think she should be one of the best girls in the world personally, which with the trouble that she can give these other players.
Um, so that loss was not how she wanted to start the year, I'm sure, but it was just her first match of the year. Who knows how the flight was getting over there, jet lag, all of those things. So for Nishesh, for Emma, for Coco, for Taylor, we hope it's up from here. We hope the season continues to get better. This is just the beginning. A couple Americans that did shine last night. Alex Mickelson, shout out, 7-6-7, 7-6-6-2 versus Aussie James Duckworth in Brisbane. And in Brizzy, man, those guys are there training year round. That's their spot. They're used to those courts. They're used to those conditions. So for Mickelson to come in and have the result that he had against Duckworth, he should win on a neutral court. He's a better player than the Duck, but with all the extra stuff going on around it, that's a really good win. Um, I was gonna say I remember hearing Mickelson one time say out in California, maybe it was Query who was talking to Mickelson, but a lot of those courts are outdoor parks, faster courts because they're not kept up as much that people play at. And so Australia faster court also. So maybe Mickelson prefers faster courts in his game. I mean, he's got a sick backhand, good serve, serve through the courts, can drop, um, sick backhand. So maybe those courts favor him more than I initially thought. The last match that we're going to discuss. Shout out to FanDuel, our proud sponsor, our proud bank robber, is Anna Kalinskaya versus a girl I've never heard of. And Anna Kalinskaya was underdog in this match, which was just shocking to me. She's top 30 in the world. She's one of the best. She's one of the best players in the world, quite frankly. Like unreal from the ground. Good returner, a really good ball striker, really good looking. I mean, like she's unbelievable, and she wasn't going to lose this match. It's an up and coming girl. She played 18-year-old like Palenkeva or Palenkova. Sorry if I know I butchered that name. She's a Czech Republic girl. Again, no notes, no nothing. I'm just looking at the camera. Uh, but she played a Czech Republic girl, and yeah, big hitter. Kalinskaya moves well. She can ball strike well. She can redirect. She can take line. I mean, she's a girl that's beaten some top players. So for her to be an underdog, I thought, man, she must have like gotten her bags lost on the way to Australia, and she's using the other girl's racket or something. Like, how is she an underdog? I was trying to figure it out. I thought FanDuel like had to know something. She won pretty convincingly. I think it's going to be a good year for Anna Kalinskaya. She's got a great game. She's fun to watch. Now is kind of like her peak too. I think she's probably 27, 28 years old. And this is her time to do it, right? It's going to be tough to compete with Sabalenka, with Anisimova, with Swiatek, with Andreeva improving. But I think Kalinskaya is a dark horse to finish top 10 this year. I look at her similar to Jess Pagula, but a better mover, in my opinion. Um, Pagula is gritty though. Not to start getting crazy comparisons, but man, she's gritty. She fights like heck, and she wants it. Uh, Whereas we'll see if Anna can kind of break into that same mode. So yeah, go Knights, go Arsenal. Shout out Mike James. Go Team USA United Cup. Thanks everybody for listening, for tuning in. Um, I don't really. I've talked enough on here. I'm starting to get a headache. I don't really know what else to say. Um, we'll see you guys next time.